We begin in Turkey and northern Syria, where in the early hours of the morning, a series of powerful earthquakes have caused widespread damage and killed almost 1,500 people. Many thousands more have been injured, and an unknown number of people are still missing. The biggest tremor had a magnitude of 7.8 with an epicenter in Turkey's Gaziantep province, which borders northern Syria. It came just after 4 in the morning local time. But there have been almost 30 other shocks in the region, all powerful enough to magnify the damage. The earthquake was felt 700 kilometers away in Gaza and in Egypt. Well, Turkey has declared a state of emergency. The Syrian government is also taking emergency measures, but the response in that country is being made far more complex by the effects of civil war. Now, while Turkey's allies, including the United States, the European Union and NATO, have offered help, there have been far fewer offers for Syria. In fact, many Western countries have shunned its governments for its actions during the civil war, but they also consider many of the opposition rebel groups to be terrorist organisations. Well, the casualty figures are simply horrific. Turkey's President Erdogan says at least 912 people have died in his country, with nearly 5,400 people injured. Well, Syrian government figures say at least 326 people have been killed, and the White Helmets Rescue Group, which operates in opposition-held parts of Syria, says more than 221 people are known to have died in those areas, with thousands missing and thousands of buildings having collapsed. Those figures, though, are certain to rise. Well, let's cross live now to Lina Sinjab, who's our correspondent in Beirut. And Lina, before we go on to talk about what happened, I believe you felt the earthquake, didn't you?
Certainly, it was really the early hours of the morning here in Beirut. With the difference of timing, it was like around 3 a.m., 3:15 a.m. in the morning, where I felt the whole building was shaking, and items moving, chandeliers moving in the ceiling, and then some stuff like falling on the ground. It was certainly the quickest, the hardest earthquake that we've ever felt in this region. Was a reminder of the explosion in the port of Beirut, in 2020, but far more, in the scale of it, basically. But luckily, in Lebanon, there are no casualties or any damages reported in comparison to what we are seeing and watching happening both in Turkey and in Syria.
Absolutely, Lina. Let's talk about what happened in Turkey, because the devastation there is horrendous.
It is.